Hello, this is Tanya R. Lewis with the Diary of Dating Over 50. And welcome. Hey y'all, did y'all notice something different? I'm sporting my new look. Go in the comments and tell me. I'm bringing out all the natural guys. I'm getting rid of the wigs, the lashes, and I'm doing something new. I'm embracing my natural part of me. So anyway, y'all put that in the comment, what y'all think. And it's gonna grow longer. Anyways, today I have two special guests. And what we're going to discuss today, it may bring up some feelings in some people out there. And if you start feeling some kind of way, call somebody, contact somebody. But we're going to talk about how to date after domestic violence. And I have two amazing women here. I have Madison and Renee, and they're going to tell you their story. And the first question I want to ask them is, can you tell us a little bit about your journey and when you realize your relationship had become abusive? Madison, tell us who you are. And
Hello, my name is Maddie, aka Cougar. My journey with domestic violence started with my ex-husband. I've now been divorced since 2016. But my worst incident actually happened around 2012.
Is that when you start noticing the abusiveness?
I would say it was like a fairy tale. My relationship started off like a fairy tale. We met and it was instant chemistry. Like everything was perfect. He was like my Prince Charming. I felt like I could talk to him about anything. Mm-hmm. It was basically like my honesty in the beginning of the relationship basically gave him a roadmap of what I wanted in a man. Mm-hmm. Basically, me being so transparent and trusting him, it gave him basically the roadmap to project who I wanted in a man. Okay. So I have to say that I think a lot of the fairy tale was basically me telling him what I wanted in a man, and he just played the part.
He played the part.
He just played the part of everything that I dreamed of having in a husband. And to fast track the relationship, everything that I said that I was missing, he gave to me instantly. It was like, and that was the first time a man really catered to me like that and really poured into me. So within the first 4 months of us being together, I was already engaged and already living together.
Wow.
Within 4 months of us meeting. And the second week that I was in the house, well, I have to go back a little bit. The first night that I was in the house and unpacking our suitcase was the first time the domestic violence stopped. It was more of a verbal
so he said some things.
Yeah, since he started talking to me crazy, because the first night we moved in the house, he came home like at 6 a.m. in the morning. And I was like, so this is how we're going to live our life living together? I got to let you stay out to 6 in the morning, you don't answer your phone? It was that type thing, and he snapped on me. So that was the first incident. And then 2 weeks.
Well, hold on. Put a pin in that. Hold on. Because we're going to dig deeper. Okay? Renee, I want you to answer the same question. Can you tell us a little bit about your journey and when you realized your relationship had become abusive?
So a little twist. I am Renee Ambush. And a little twist to this, because I've been married more than once. Okay. So I was a person that had a past of 10 years from age 6 to 16 of sexual molestation, incest, molestation and things of that nature. So by the time I got married, I had this little thing where I treated men bad as a teenager and a young adult. I just was like, I had no care for guys, right? I was real hard. And when I got, and here's the twist I want to say. So when I got into church, I started learning about the roles of a wife, right? And so my first husband was the choir director, and I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be really awesome or whatever. And so we were married, and we're going to further the story, but I'm going to make this one short. The first time I recognized being abused in a relationship that I actually was in and not abused by was when he would have sex with me and I didn't want it. And so I'm like thinking, I'm married, so I supposed to, he was like, your body belongs to me. And it's like, no, if I say no, even being married, that's no. So I really came to the understanding that I was actually being sexually abused in a marriage, and we don't talk about that.
Now tell me that. When did you feel that the first time you felt that this don't feel right? When it was during sex, when he was forcing it.
Well, this transparent, right? I ain't like him from the beginning. So,
but it was the picture of choir, a singer and choir,
and the fact that honestly, I was a teenage mom, right? So everybody my age in church was getting married. So I got married to be married, right?
So you didn't even like.
I didn't even like him. But at the same token, so I literally would lay there and cry, and because of my past, and see, this is the thing, but sometimes we don't really recognize abuse because we've been abused so much that our tolerance is high. So being in a relationship with him and I was able to emotionally disconnect from whatever he was doing, right? And so it was just like, okay, I'll just lay here, I'll wait for him to finish. But after a while, I started emotionally becoming, I started crying because I'm like, wait, this person is taking advantage of me. And because I've always been like, a very strong person, I felt like, oh my gosh, wait, now that I'm married, I'm supposed to do this, right? But still, I was like, something's not right. I'm not saying yes. I'm not saying okay. And when that abuse or when those actions begin to change my mindset, my thoughts and my actions, I was like, yeah, it's time to go.
Put a pin in that because I'm getting ready to ask you a question on that.
Okay.
I when I was younger and I was in Job Corps, I dated this guy and we went out, we had fun. He was an older guy and, I was 16 and I was in Job Corps and of course I wasn't supposed to be with this older man and he treated me so well. And the first time that I allowed him to have sex with me, I was buzzing off of alcohol. It was good and the sex was good. But he kept on making me have sex with him and he kept on. And then he started tying me up. And I can imagine that feeling of not wanting the sex and then getting to the point where you don't want it. And it changed your whole mindset. So how did domestic violence change the way you viewed yourself, loved yourself, and your trust? Answer that, Renee.
Well, I just want to kind of also say that I am a behavior mental health therapist dealing with relationships and trauma. And one of the things that I want to dispel is people always say that we who have experienced domestic violence have low self-esteem. And it's not about our esteem, it's about what we have experienced that exposed us to, like I said, have a high tolerance for pain or abuse or things of that nature. It's not that we don't have self-esteem.
I don't want the therapist with that.
Oh, no, I'm going to give you nay-nay.
Okay.
I'm going to give you nay-nay.
She said nay-nay.
Nay-nay.
We get ready to get nay-nay. Okay.
Yeah, but, no, wait, hit me with that question again.
Okay. So the question is, can you tell us after leave? No, wait a minute, hold on. Can you tell us in real life relationship? How did domestic violence change the way you viewed yourself, loved yourself, and trust?
Okay, so during domestic violence, because it happened in all three marriages, but different ways, right? It was physical in the third marriage, but
the first two was more mental.
Yeah, the first two was verbal, mental. What the last one was physical, financial, spiritual, all of that, right? I always, and I hate to use this word, but I felt like a victim. And so now I never say that I've been a victim of domestic violence. I say I experienced it because I'm not a victim, I'm victorious. But I felt so...
Maybe you were a victim in the midst of it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I felt like a victim in the midst of that because I'm like, okay, Renee, you can physically fight back, you can do other things, but psychologically and mentally, you're really at a low space. And that's what put me in a place where, like you said, the next answer to that is I started looking at my purpose And I started asking God about my purpose. Why am I here? I know it's not for people to mistreat me and use me. So, okay, now I have to see me how the Creator sees me. And when I started reading the Bible and it started telling me I was fearfully and wonderfully made, I was saying how I was higher than the angels. It was just pouring into me as to who I am and how I was made. And I was like, then I'm not made for this. Yeah. And so what happens is, and I still am not angry at them or men or anything like that. I just start pouring into me and loving me and finding out things about me.
Okay, but in that point in time, when you were in the midst of it, before we go to the Almighty God, because sometimes God just ain't enough at a certain point.
No, absolutely.
You know, because you so caught up in it. Now, God is always enough, but when we're caught up in it, we think He's not enough. So how did you view yourself?
I told you I view myself as a victim.
And how did you view yourself around your family, around your friends, personally?
Well, see, this is the thing. Everybody, and I am, but everybody saw me as strong. So it was conflicting because I'm in this relationship where I'm still strong because I was a fight backer. I was definitely a fight backer. But like I said, internally, I was just like, why am I accepting this? And it made me have to deal with the foundation as to why I was accepting it. And that was because it was forced upon me. So it was something that was I'm not going to say okay, but it was something that because it was introduced to me through that molestation and all that stuff, it was just like, oh, okay, well, you know what?
I can handle this.
I can handle this because I do everything. I can, until, like I said, until I got to that point where it was like, it's not that I can handle this. It's that I don't want to handle this.
Okay. Shannon, tell Madison, or Maddie. I want to hear from Maddie. How the question was, how did domestic violence change the way you viewed yourself and love and trust?
I didn't believe in love as much anymore because I felt like I'm a lover girl. I'm a lover girl. I love. I love black love. I just love. I just love the way we love. So, like I told you before, I was a recovering gold digger. So when I met my ex-husband and was able to be honest about my lifestyle, I thought I had met my friend. I thought I had met my soulmate. I thought I had finally met somebody I can pour into. Because being a gold digger, we don't love. I had the love for money. I didn't have the love for a man.
So when you were going through it, by you having this hard exterior,
yes,
you didn't allow yourself probably to view.
When we first met, I was looking at him at the same way I looked at everybody else. He tore down those walls. So that's what impressed me about him because he had patience. And what I learned about a narcissist is narcissist has the utmost patience.
They can wait you out.
Yes, and they don't have a time limit.
No.
Because their end goal is to break you.
Yes.
And so in the midst of me going through it, I noticed my insecurities was increasing. I was a very confident woman. Like
was he chipping away at that?
He chipped. My confidence was gone. I was. By the time I left this relationship, I was broken. I isolated myself from my family because I was embarrassed, and also I was I was so protective of the vision that they saw in my marriage. I lied when I didn't even tell people that I was getting abused. I made him seem like this superhero. I wanted him to be the image that I had started describing him as the image that I wanted him to be instead of who he actually was. So it caused me to isolate myself out of embarrassment from family and friends. And then once I left him, I went into a shell. I had to rebuild myself.
Let me ask you this question while you right there. After leaving that relationship, what was the hardest emotional battle you had to fight before you could even think about dating again?
Rebuilding the trust of my children.
So your kids were in...
Yes.
They watched this.
Yes, and they actually was the strength that gave me to leave. Because I didn't want my son to grow up and feel like this is the way that you treat a woman. I felt like if the longer I stayed, the more I was damaging my children.
Now, was he physical or emotional?
He was physically, emotionally, and verbally abusive.
Did your kids ever see him hit you?
Yes. Yes.
And did they say anything?
My son actually wanted to protect me. Like he went into protection mode, and my daughter also went into protection mode to the point that it destroyed our relationship because I stopped her. She felt like you loving him more than you love me, and I'm showing you.
Did you?
At one point, I do think I trusted my husband more than I trusted my kid. I'm thinking, you a little kid. You don't know what you're doing. Like, you stay out of grown folks' business. But really, it was my daughter's business because I'm her mom. Yeah. And I was showing her that I wasn't strong and she was trying to be strong for me.
Did you ever have to hide any bruises or anything like that?
Well, because I live in the public's eye, and I always have, I've gone to sets and had to cover black eyes, bruises. I actually had to cast music videos and stuff in a wheelchair, and he was pushing me around, and I had to act like I fell down the steps.
And you didn't fall down the steps?
I didn't fall down the steps.
He threw you down?
No, that's not how my injury. He was choking me out, and I had to get away, and my foot got caught in the bed frame. And when I snatched my foot out, I lost my ankle bone, and that's why I have a steel rod and plate. So I was trying to get away because I feel like if I hadn't got away, I probably wouldn't be sitting here right now.
Let me ask you another question. After he did all this to you, was he the type of man that would come and try to dominate you by making love to you and telling you how much he loved you?
No, he wasn't that. He was a mental person. Like I'm a very forgiving person. I've learned that I was raised to always forgive. Like, you don't hold grudges. So when the incident happened, before my friend showed up to take me to the hospital, he fell to the floor and he was like, oh my God, I'm on parole. If you do this, I'm going back to prison, And I'm sitting here, first of all, my ankle was the size of a basketball within a minute. It just swole up and I couldn't move. I could actually turn my foot around this. So I'm sitting here with this injury and instead of me thinking about the pain, I instantly go into protection mode of protecting him. That's when I knew that I was in an abusive relationship because
when you started protecting it.
I started protecting him. So when my friend came, I said I fell down the steps in my rib.
You instantly lied.
Yes.
Hold that thought. After leaving the relationship, what was the hardest emotional battle you had to fight before you could even think about dating again? Now, I want you to give me an example from the physical and from the mental.
Okay.
Okay.
So like I said, the first husband was 3 months. That was the sexual abuse. The second husband was verbal abusive because he was an addict. So I would have to go get him from off the street, out of other women's houses, all of that stuff, or whatever the case may be.
I can identify with that.
Okay, so that was, so he was from that perspective, right? Okay. Never physical or anything like that. He was scared of going back to prison because he had just did 10 years, so he wasn't going back to prison. So he was just verbal, you know. My third husband had been my friend and my male best friend since I was 19. We didn't get married until I was like almost 40. So he was always my best friend. And he says to this day, I was an amazing best friend to you, but I never knew how to be a husband to you. So that's the one that detailed all of stuff. And you said before, I told him, and he saw me because he had been watching me through my other 2 marriages and everything. So he was studying me and studying what it is and things about me.
Taking notes.
So, absolutely. And so with him, a lot of similarities. He was not only a musician, a producer, but he was also a state officer. So I didn't want to kind of get him in trouble a lot of the times. So whatever the case may be.
Why do we protect their jobs and keep them from going to jail?
Because it was a reflection of me. Because remember, well, you don't know, but here it is. I'm a licensed ordained minister. I'm preaching. I'm teaching. I'm doing all of this. So if I expose him, I'm exposing me. So what I felt like was, for a while, if I continue to deal with him, then people gonna think I'm just as crazy as him because I'm still dealing with him. So I wasn't really protecting him. I just wouldn't say anything. And then what's extra crazy?
That was protecting him.
Well, yeah. But what's crazy when I did start speaking out about it again, and I know I keep saying this, right? And even as a licensed ordained minister and loving the Lord, I had an issue with the church because I went there asking them for help, and what they told me was women were supposed to be quiet. It wasn't until I got to one church who said, when I told them the story, and they were like, why are you still with them? And I looked like this and was like, are you serious? And they was like, yeah, why are you still with them? And that gave me some more strength because I already knew I was going to leave them. But then when I got that confirmation from that church, you know what I mean? And so like you said, he got upset with me. Now, mind you, I'm 5'2" and a half, 5'4" with some good heels on, 5'7" when I'm really
that's why you look so tall. Get that shoe up there. Okay. Show the audience that shoe you got.
Listen, okay. And he's 6'4" and a half and was almost 370 pounds. Mm-hmm. We'll show you pictures, put it on your podcast. And he thought that because I left my job. I was working for the government, almost six-figure salary. But he was like, no, I'm going to take care of you, leave. And my daughter was an actress, so I worked. So I left. And that's when the financial abuse came. You wouldn't give me $20, but for 9.5 years, I took care of you, right? So I was like, okay, wait a minute, this is not that thing. So long story short, get the story. I went to the store. Now, mind you, I had a concussion, not because he hit me, because like I told you, I was a fighter backer, like if he put his hands on me, but because he was that big, one day he sat on me because I caught him on the phone with another woman. And when I tried to take the phone out of his hand, he sat on me and trying to get away from him. And he was a big punk, okay? Mm-hmm. Because like he would do stuff to me, like if I scratched him to get him off me, he'll go, now I can call the police and say you hit me. And I'm like, are you for real? Like you're 6'4".
Wow.
But at any rate, he pushed me. I fell to the floor and hit my head on the concrete. Mm-hmm. And I wound up having a concussion. Did I leave from that point? No, okay? I was just like, okay, that was a tussle. And again, I just want to put this on here. I'm going to say this a lot because I really want to deal with this though. I'm like, the Bible says, for better or for worse, till death do us part. Mm-hmm. Until I heard God speak to me and said, not the death of at the hands of another man. You understand what I'm saying? But long story short, after going back to him, we getting put out, all that stuff, whatever the case may be, he thought I was seeing another guy because I chose to go to the store or something. And he didn't want me to go to the store. I came back and we were tussling and he went across my face. And in doing so, he dislocated my jaw because it was never really physical. Right? But that was the one time he put his hands on me. And that was the one time I called the police and I had him arrested.
Let me ask this. Mm-hmm. Why do we think as women, because and it sounds like all of us are the same, we love so hard that we need, we don't have to have broken toys to fix. We think we get these men that we have to fix.
Because we're like puzzles. Yeah. They're the other piece to our missing part until we start to heal and realize we don't need those pieces. That.
So let me ask this question. What fear, we're going to go into the dating part. What fear did you have when you started dating again? And were these fears justified? Maddie, answer that question.
I feel one of the main fears that I had because of my honesty, and to tell you the truth, he was the first relationship that I was honest about. Mm-hmm. I mean, being a gold digger is all about the games. Mm-hmm. Never let anybody really get into.
So you was heart. Faithful and.
I was faithful for the first time. I mean, I'm an Aries and we've known to cheat.
I love her.
Be honest, if I get bored, I move on. I may not tell you.
I'm not into zodiac.
You may not tell you don't move on.
I may not tell you I moved on, but I'm already replacing you before I leave. So I was faithful. I was faithful to him. He was the first person that I was honest about my past with. Mm-hmm. So going into dating after that relationship, I thought all that was wrong. Mm-hmm. I can't be honest. Mm-hmm. I can't tell somebody about my past no more. Mm-hmm. I can't allow somebody to be in my heart. So as soon as I would notice that somebody was trying to love me too much, I would run.
You would run.
Because I felt like it was a game. You playing a game with me. So then I would instantly turn into a mean girl.
Mm. Oh, wow.
I didn't know how to accept the love and respect from a man because I felt like it was all fake.
Yeah.
So I went through about two good men that was probably the type of man I needed at the time, but I was so broken and so stuck in the past of what I had gone through. I learned that I was dating people based on what I hadn't healed from.
Wow.
So until I took my healing journey, which you interviewed me months back, and I was going through my healing journey.
Hold that, because I'm gonna ask you about your healing journey.
Yes.
Hold on to that. So, what fear did you have when you started dating again, and were the fears justified?
Okay, so my two interpretations were this. One, how I was going to show up in the relationship, right? Because it was no longer about them now. I wanted to know how I was going to show up. The second thing was, because I had went through the healing journey, like you said, we'll talk about, my tolerance level was like, you sneeze wrong, and I'm good. And so I'm like, really? And so I'm like, okay, well, you don't want to shell everybody out by looking at these things or whatever, but you really have to understand boundaries and no longer settling and what you will accept. And again, so my whole thing was, how am I get ready to show up? And so I got divorced in 2016-ish. 16. I didn't get into another relationship until 2019. And because I took time for me, I really wanted to deal with me. In that relationship, I literally told him when he came, you're my test case. I need to know where I'm at and what's going on. So I don't know how long you're gonna be around, but you are my test case to see where I'm at.
How you gonna go about being in this
I was with him.
Probably healthy relationship.
Absolutely. I moved in, we got a place, it was all good. 5 months, after 5 months, I was like, nope, you're not the one, and I left.
Wow. So answer me this, guys, and a short answer for this. Was there any point in time that you may have liked some of this because of maybe what you can get? Maybe they bought you some nice gifts, or you got some good, like crack your back sex. You know.
Actually, the making up is what kept me.
Oh.
That's kept me in my abuse, because I come from a financial way of seeing love. And he knew that. I gave him a whole roadmap. Like I said, I've never dated a boss. I've never dated a man that put $50,000 in my account, cash me out cars, cash me out. I never had that. I always had somebody that just did a little bit.
So he did all this? So it was hard for you to leave that relationship.
He instantly put me in the big house because he knew that's what I wanted. He instantly gave me the 550 BMW because that's what I wanted. He gave me the diamonds. He gave me the Rolex. He gave me the money. Every time he'd do something to me, he'd come home with a gift. Or he'd take me shopping. Or I was going on exotic trips. Or I'm doing something that I hadn't done with other men. Other men basically was just having sex with me, All the athletes, all the celebrities, that's all they wanted from me. So he showed me, I'm going to elevate you. You want a power couple?
They kill you when they say that. I'm going to elevate you.
I'm going to elevate you.
Okay.
So he gave me the power that I wanted in a power couple. But in the long term, when I didn't act or do what he wanted me to do, he would take it away. He was $20 in me. If I didn't go out with him and I wanted to go out with my friends, he'd give me $20 to go out with.
What's up with the $20?
He made me quit all my jobs that I had
because he needed that control,
and I had to run the company that he had. I had to work for him. I had to make my money with him.
And you became a $20 holler, huh?
Yes.
Okay, what about you?
No parts that I liked.
You didn't like it?
I didn't like it, and it wasn't the back breaking anything. See, for me, I'm a sapiosexual. I'm an intellectual person. So my last husband had known me since I was 19. And he was my best friend. So he knew how to communicate with me. He knew that because of my sexual past, I could care less about sex, right? I've had enough that I don't need any for the rest of my life. I could care less about that. But give me good conversation, talk to me. So he stayed in my head. And so that was the part that got me. It had nothing to do with sex. because I had better whenever I cheated, but that's a whole nother situation, probably a whole nother show. But, and I didn't cheat on him. I'm just saying, like, when I, in between or whatever. But I liked none of it. And because I was the nurturer. I was the one, I took care of him. I was the one with the monies and giving the vacations and things of that nature. And so because of that and being a mom early, I had a heavy thing for taking care of people. And so that was the thing. And no, I didn't like it at all.
Okay. Last questions, ladies.
And then I forgot one part. I didn't tell about the sex part.
Okay.
I may need to add to that. Because you gotta remember, my lifestyle, I was transactional. I don't even get wet if it ain't about no money.
Oh.
That was how I ran my life.
Okay.
When I was younger. If it ain't about no money, I don't
And you
want
got
it.
you ain't want it, huh?
Period.
And I was so opposite. You got me off that. I'm giving it all to you.
I started having sex because I was in love, and the sex was amazing. Matter of fact, he would treat me bad and talk to me bad.
So he can.
But when he had sex with me, I was like, that's when I felt like he loved me.
Wow.
So our chemistry and the sex also is what kept me, because the sex was just so good, because I had never felt like somebody made love to me.
And he did.
And he knew how to do that.
So let me ask this last question. If you could speak directly to the version of yourself who was still trapped in that abusive relationship, what would you say to her today?
What is you tripping on? That girl, what is you tripping on? You can do better. You are strong. You are successful. And you can do this alone. You don't need him. Because I felt like at a time I needed him. I didn't even see it out. I felt like this man, if I leave, I'm going to have nothing. I was scared to leave it. So when I finally got the strength, I let him have, I went and took my TPO, and I sold everything that made money that I knew I could sell to start my life over with. I gave up the cars, the house, the jewelry, everything. I had to strip myself.
Yes.
To be able, that relationship, actually, I had to heal from years of trauma because I was used to men financially taking care of me. So I stripped myself, took the nails off, I took the wig off, and the only thing I knew to do was to cook. So I went and cooked in the kitchens of different restaurants here in Atlanta because I had to, if I didn't make my own money and rebuild myself that way, I was going to end up in that same type of relationship where somebody could buy me and treat me however they wanted to treat me. So I had to strip myself of the lifestyle, and I had to humble myself.
Because you were in love with the lifestyle as well.
Yeah, I was more in love with the money and the lifestyle than him, I realized. It wasn't him that I was in love with. I thought it was him.
But it was a lifestyle.
He was just giving me comfort in a lifestyle that I was already accustomed to.
Wow. What about you?
I tell her, first and foremost, look into yourself, baby. Find who you are. And then look at what are those things that are drawing certain men to you like that. Because when you find that out and you dismiss yourself and rid yourself of that, you'll never take another male back because you have closed and sealed the areas that you've allowed them to come into. So look into who you are. And when somebody says, what does that mean? Start finding out, what is it that you like? What is it that you're passionate about? What is it that, if you did it, it just gives you joy without another individual? That's the time to start looking into yourself. And I say it and I mean it. Seal every area that anything could come in. If it comes with a little foothold, it's going to try to come in with the door. So look at those things that you see that draw you. My sister just said money was her thing. Maybe money draws you to men that then abuse you. Maybe it's the sex. Maybe it's just looking for somebody to understand you. Maybe it's looking for a father figure.
Yes.
Maybe it's looking to replace what you didn't get. Look deep within yourself and start asking yourself questions. Back in the day, they would say, if you talk to yourself, you're crazy. No, if you talk to yourself, you're wise. And even if you listen to the answers that you give yourself, you're even wiser because you know you better than anybody else.
Exactly.
Thank you. As we close to today's conversation, I want to thank Renee and Maddie for having the courage to share their story. Domestic violence does not get the final word. Healing, hope, and purpose do. Their journey reminds us that surviving is only the beginning. Rebuilding your confidence, learning to trust again, and believing in believing you deserve healthy love is where the true transformation begins. On the Diary of Dating Over 50, we are committed to creating a safe space for honest conversation that encourage, educate, and empower others. If today's discussion helps even one person to recognize their worth, leave an unhealthy relationship, or believe that love is still possible after trauma, then every story shared today has made a lasting difference. Remember, your past does not define you. Your courage to keep moving forward do. There will be a domestic violence telephone number and people that you can contact at the end of this show. We will be coming back with a couple more segments of it because I think it's real important. There's some young lady out there that's caught in the grips, and if she turn on YouTube and this happens to come by and she watch it and it help her, Maddie and Renee has done their job. Again, thank you for tuning in to the Diary of Dating Over 50. One other thing, my passion is anti-human trafficking against our children. We're having a gala at the Apex Museum here in Atlanta, Georgia on August 9th at 4 p.m. Join us. I love you guys. Come back and see us again. Thank you.
Hands up, heart to life.